Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously.
Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd, yeah. Oh, looks like we made it. My baby. I don't remember that Shania Twain song is so fucking old. I don't remember what the words, but all I know is looks like we made it, which is the theme of the last 2 years of all of our lives. So today's Ambitchious podcast is 2022, the year of the bitch. Yes. You know, it was so funny because I was thinking about when I was a little girl, my Nana Pearl used to bring me to this place called May Villa. And it was like the yummiest Chinese food restaurant in the whole entire world. At least I thought so when I was 7 years old, and they would bring out the flaming poo-poo platters and like the cool cups of tea and all that stuff. And I remember that the placemats at this Chinese restaurant was like, you know how you could look up the year of your birth and then it would like coincide with an animal? And then every year with like the Chinese zodiac, it would be like, okay, this is the year of the rooster. This is the year of the pig. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was just like, I don't know, just reminiscing on this time. It just had popped into my mind. And I was like, oh my God, 2022 is the year of the bitch. And that is what this whole entire podcast is about. I'm going to give you 22 ways that you can use to truly make 2022 your bitch. But before I start, I always love to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Life Boost Coffee. You guys know that I have sexual seduction with my Life Boost Coffee every morning. You guys know every morning part of my ambitious rituals, or as we call them in Ambitchious Academy, ambituals, is to have 2 cups of my dark roast Life Boost Coffee. The reason why I love it so much is it doesn't cause any inflammation. It doesn't have any mold toxins. Did you know like coffee is the moldiest shit you can drink and causes so much inflammation? It causes brain fog. It can mimic, joint issues and pain in your body and a plethora of other things. And what's so amazing about Life Boost Coffee is it has no mold toxins and it's also third-party tested. So if you are looking to switch up your caffeine routine in 2022, head on over to lifeboostcoffee.com. And when you check out, just use the code Ambitchious. Make sure that you spell it right. Okay. Ambitchious. And you'll get 40% off of your first order. And you will also get free shipping. And when I started with Life Boost Coffee about 2 years ago, I did that the first time. And now every month I just get my coffee like auto shipped to me. And the only thing I do is like every so often I like to switch up the flavors. And it's just the easiest thing in the whole entire world. Like I never have to worry about getting coffee or, going to the grocery store. And I don't ever, you'll never see me drink coffee outside of the house. Like I actually bring my own French press and I bring my own grinder and I bring my own coffee to wherever I go. Matt and I had just spent a week at the Four Seasons in Boston for the holidays and I never ordered coffee out. I just made my Life Boost coffee every day and I didn't get off my routine and it was amazing. So head on over to Life Boost Coffee if you're looking to switch it up. And thank you to Life Boost Coffee for being such an amazing sponsor to the Ambitchious podcast. Okay. So I have some notes in front of me. What's kind of really cool too, it's a little off topic, but this is going to be like some of the last podcasts that is just going to be my voice. We always put our podcasts up on YouTube. We always put our podcast up on the Ambitchious app, but we are actually in the middle of the end stages of creating a podcast studio at Casa de Babine at my house. And I ordered like the coolest neon light that says Ambitchious, and we're going to be putting up wallpaper. My desk just came in, all of my podcast accoutrement. You don't really realize how much stuff goes into creating a podcast of like a high caliber. And frankly, I'm sick and fucking tired of sitting on my big fat Portuguese ass on the closet of my, in the closet of my bedroom with like, my shoes falling on my head. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super exciting. We're also going to be having amazing podcast guests on. I have some, like, the roster of shit that I have lined up for you guys this year. You're going to like blow a gasket. So I don't want to get you too titillated and turned on just yet. But just know that we're in the last stages of creating the Ambitchious podcast room at my home, and we're going to be having guests on, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So get wet for that. All right. So let me go back to what I was talking about because my ADHD is on high alert today. So if you're listening to this, I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve day. It is around 12:45 in the afternoon. I am sucking the marrow out of the last day of 2022. I'm doing some incredible videos for my Ambitchious Academy students. I am obviously recording this podcast. I'm going to be recording some reels for Instagram because it's like my favorite thing to do. If you don't follow me yet on Instagram, go to Katie Boyd Ambitchious, at Katie Boyd Ambitchious on Instagram. But all the real shit is actually happening over on my app, like all the real good, juicy, meaty stuff. But I do like to do reels. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I have been kind of compiling this 22 item list for about a week and a half now. So I have like my little notebook out, and every time I'm inspired, I write down another topic. And it's just so funny because I only planned on like doing 10, but then I was like, you know what? Let me challenge myself and let me see if I can come up with 22 reasons for making 2022 your bitch. And that's what I have today for you. I have 22 reasons, 22 ways, 22 tools, if you will. And obviously my biggest and best advice to you is you're not going to do all 22 of these things on day one. My advice is to just slowly incorporate one thing at a time. And some of the stuff is esoteric. Some of the stuff is mindset. Some of the stuff is a little bit philosophical, a little bit stoic. But if you really like, what I like to do is when I listen to someone's podcast or when I listen to an audiobook or whatever, I like to get my notebook out and I like to take notes. So what I would do if I was you is I would just like write down the 22 things and then kind of like make little notes of your own underneath each one to kind of work out how you'll implement these tools and how you'll implement these ideas in the new year to truly make 2022 your biznatch. Okay, so let's get to it without further ado. Okay, so here's my first item on how to make 2022 your bitch, and that is burn your boats. I know you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Katie? Okay, so in 1519, there was a Spanish explorer. His name was Hernan Cortez, and his goal was to conquer the Aztec Empire. So while I'm not sitting here and being like, yeah, go on Hernan Cortez, go on with your bad self and kill all the Aztecs. No. What I'm saying is this is the etymology. This is where the words burn your boats came from. So in 1519, he was a conquistador. He came over here and he found the Aztec Empire, and he was like, I am going to conquer this empire. I am going to get all the riches. I'm going to suck all the marrow out of this place. I am going to like learn these people's ways, and I am going to get all the gold. Because back then, their whole thing was they were looking for like the Fountain of Youth, and they were looking for El Dorado, which was like they thought or heard that there was like this whole city made of gold. And that's what a lot of these conquistadors were actually looking for. They weren't really looking for anything else but just riches and gold and just raping and pillaging, honestly, at the end of the day. But I love the way that this sounds because, you know, Tony Robbins talks a lot about this. If you want to take the island, burn your boats. So what he's saying is, when you burn your boats, there's no way off the island. That is like a crossroads that you can never come back and travel back. So a lot of times what happens is when we create goals, when we come up with these dreams, these aspirations, we always in the back of our minds have an exit strategy, or we always in the back of our minds have like a plan B. So like, well, if it doesn't work out, well, I always can fall back on this. And like, if plan A doesn't work, like plan B, I have plan B, right? But anytime you have a plan B, it always distracts from plan A, right? So you have to burn your boats. You have to say to yourself, I don't give a fuck come hell or high water. I am releasing the 100 pounds that I need to release. I am finding the man of my dreams. I am going to sell all my belongings and travel the world. I am going to ditch my shitty 9-to-5 cubicle job that literally makes me hate my life, and they would replace me within 24 hours if I died. No fucks given, let's be honest, right? I don't care come hell or high water. Like, I am not turning back. This could be also like leaving a shitty marriage or a really abusive, toxic relationship. Like, I don't care what it is. And obviously, when you burn your boats, it always has to do with one or more than one of the 6 life makers, right? But you cannot have a plan B. You can't have a way off the island, because if you have a way off the island, you will always find that way. When the going gets hard, when it gets tough, like, people just give the fuck up. So you have to say to yourself, I don't give a shit. I am accomplishing this goal. I am reaching this dream. I am, attaining this aspiration, and there's no other way. Now, can there be different ways to come to that place? Absolutely. But the decision has to be like, I don't give a fuck. I am doing this. And I don't care like how much pain I have to go through, how much I have to sacrifice, the boundaries that I have to put in place. I am doing this thing. So the number one best advice that I can give you to make 2022 your bitch is to burn your motherfucking boats. Number 2 is to become laser focused. I do a lot of business coaching, a lot. And this is just something that just came to me as I'm speaking to you. And a lot of times people will come to me and they'll be like, Katie, I want to do exactly what you do. And I'm like, okay, what is that? I want to write a book. And notice I'm using the word want, because a lot of people use this word want, which implies to the universe that you are lacking something. You have to understand right now, and I'm just going to go off on a tangent for a second, because I have to really straighten this fucking shit out. You have to understand right now, everything that you, and I'm going to use the N word, need to be the person that God and the universe and your creator put you here to be is already inside of you. You don't need anything else. Okay? It's already there. You are enough just the way you are. You are equipped with everything that you desire and need and must have to be this person. Okay? So let's just get that straight first. But people will come to me and they'll say, I want a podcast. I want to write a book. I want to become a 7-figure coach or a 6-figure coach. I want to have a marriage like you have with Matt. I want to have a home like you. I want to do the things that you do, right? And I'm like, bitch, it took me fucking 20 years to become this person. And it took me such sacrifice. And it took me, when all my friends, and when we were in our 20s, right? And I partied a little bit, but I was always on point with what I was doing. I didn't get too out of hand where it made me fucked up and I couldn't reach my goals. But when all of my friends were just blowing random guys and just partying their asses off, I was up at 4 a.m. running my fucking company, working 18-hour days, brushing my teeth in the bathroom at my business, right? My little dog before Pearl, his name was Skip, and he had a little bed in my gym, in my little wellness center, and he would just lay there, and I would take him outside to poop during the day, when I in between clients. You guys have no idea what it took to become the person that I am today. And everybody just thinks it's so fucking cute and it's so fucking easy. It's not. If it was easy, everyone would be living the life of their dreams, but it takes laser focus. So what I tell people is, okay, let's choose one thing and let's just focus on that one thing. Think about a laser. So if you were trying to burn a hole in something, right? You see all these movies, right? Where they have really high-end cat burglars, and they like have lasers that will like burn through metal so they can steal some shit out of like a museum, right? I haven't watched a lot of the movies like that, but I've seen a few in my day. If they took the laser and they just like sprayed it all over the fucking place, how long would it take to cut through that metal? Probably forever. Probably they'd end up in jail, right? They get caught. But if you want to perforate something and you want to bust through something, you have to laser focus. Or just like if you're going to chop a tree down, you don't take an axe and go all up and down the tree side to side over and over the whole thing and try to like hit it in different places. You just keep chopping away at that one place until it gets weak enough where it just falls down, right? It's the same thing with what you desire to accomplish in your life. So if, let's just say that you are 150 pounds overweight and you just feel like shit. You just feel like absolute dog shit. And you're like, I know that my life would be so much better and so much happier, and I would just feel so much healthier if I lost this, released this 150 pounds. Okay. So what are you going to do? Are you going to like work out like one day a week and maybe do keto here and there and maybe do a little fasting once a month? No. Your whole entire life is just, I wake up, I do my wellness routine, I eat a certain way, I work out, I sleep, I take my supplements, and that's all you focus on. Now, are there going to be other things in your life like your family and your business and work and commitments? Absolutely. But your number one focus is to release that 150 pounds by burning your boats, right? Let's go back to number one, by burning your boats and only focusing on that one fucking thing and not giving up until it is achieved. But so many people want these like 1% lives, and they are like taking the rest of the 99% of their energy and they're spreading it out all over the place. You guys, you have to laser focus. So I really, really urge you to just choose one thing and just put all of your strength and your tenacity and your focus into that one thing. And then once you achieve that one thing, then you can choose another thing. But, like what is the old adage? Like the jack of all trades, the master of none. It's true. That is why this year I said to myself, you're not doing 50 things, even though like before I had like probably 15 different revenue streams. And that's how I created my 1% life, my 7-figure life. Okay. This year I said, no, the only way that people can work with me is through Ambitchious Academy, because I know that if I just laser focus on this Ambitchious Academy and I just give 110% of myself to these women who sign up for Ambitchious Academy, I know that the 7 figures this year will come through that. And we already had an incredible fucking launch. We had a 6-figure launch in 48 hours, right? And everyone's like, how did you do that? How did you do that? I laser focused on this one thing. I wasn't like, oh, and I'm going to do speaking engagements, and I'm going to do events, and I'm going to do business coaching, and I'm going to do mentorship, and I'm going to sell crystals, and I'm going to sell like Swarovski dildos, and then I'm going to sell nipple tassels, and I'm going to make my own like tequila. No, like, yeah, could I do all that shit? And I've done all these things before, except the tequila and the dildos and the nipple tassels, but those are kind of acting, those could be fun down the road. Let me get back on topic. But I'm just like, no, it's Ambitchious Academy or nothing. And maybe down the road, once Ambitchious Academy gets to that 7 figures and we're projecting it to be in the middle of 2022, then I can say, you know what? I want to do some extra stuff, or I want to focus on something else. But until that, I'm not doing anything else. So laser focus is number 2. Number 3, I love this one. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Stand on the shoulders of giants. If you desire to have a life like, say, me, or Tony Robbins, or Rachel Hollis, or Jenna Kutcher, or Jay Shetty, or Mel Robbins, or, I could name like a million people in the same space as me, then why are you going to go and like reinvent the wheel? Learn from these people. Learn, study them. What do they do? How do they show up? Like someone the other day was like asking me about business coaching. And I was like, well, what do you do? And she said, oh, I teach spirituality to children and moms. And I'm like, really? Because when I look at your social media, that does not seem like that to me at all. When you go on my social media, say you go on my Instagram, I am teaching people women, how to step into their power by being a bitch. And the bitch is the acronym for being in total control of herself. I don't talk about the weather. I don't talk about shoes. I don't talk about fucking like coat hangers. I'm talking about being ambitious, and that is it. That is my niche, and that is my messaging. And anything that is not on point with that part of my brand, I don't do it. I don't do it. Right? Like, that's it. And people are like miffed when I say this to them. I'm like, well, I'm looking at your brand from a business standpoint, and like, I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. And like, I know that this person is a loving human, and I know that she was probably like, this fucking bitch. But I'm like, you asked, and I'm telling you. So study the people who you desire to be like and to have a similar life to, but you will never be them. And that is the fucking problem with so many people nowadays. They want to be Tony Robbins. They want to be Mel Robbins. They want to be Brene Brown. They want to be the next Warren Buffett, or the next Elon Musk, or the next Gary Vaynerchuk, or the next Andy Frisella. But they don't understand that, like, that is not your fucking life contract. That is not your blueprint. You have to follow your crumbs. You have to follow your guidelines, your blueprint, your contracts. So yes, could you emulate someone, and could you like say like, oh wow, I just love how Tony Robbins does these like incredible conferences. I really love doing live events. I'm going to like learn and like read about and research and maybe even go to the things that he does, right? I always tell people, you want to learn how to do a 7-figure online coaching academy or whatever you're trying to do, take mine and like, look what I'm doing, and then like recreate it with your own brand and your own niche. I don't give a fuck if you steal my shit. Do you know how many fucking people have stolen my shit? I have people that I've coached that literally took my whole entire Ambitchious 28-day program and like just said, I'm going to call it like Me So Horny program. Do you think I give a fuck? Because you know what? They don't sell shit because they're not fucking me. They can't do the things that I do. They can't show up every day and take the fucking criticism and work the 15-hour days and like not like sleep and not eat and do all these things. I don't do that anymore because I've gotten my company to a place where I like work maybe an hour or two a day, and like, I'm like, peace, I'm out. I'm going to go watch Netflix. I'm going to go chill with my husband. I'm going to go play with my dog. I'm going to go be with my friends. But it took me 20 years to get there. So like, I don't get, like, people are always like, oh, I don't want to tell because it's like a secret and like, I don't want people to copy me. Bitch, even if you told them every fucking thing that you do, like Willy fucking Wonka. Remember in Willy Wonka where he brought everybody through and he was like telling them how he makes everything and how he does all these things? Even no one can be Willy Wonka. They can't make the everlasting gobstopper like you. You gotta understand that. All these people are so worried about like, oh, I can't tell you because like, I need you to sign an NDA, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, I don't want your fucking stupid idea. I have my own stupid ideas. Like, fuck off. So stand on the shoulders of giants. Write a list down of people that you think are like amazing, incredible people of value and service that make a lot of money, that have a 1% life, that travel, that have great relationships, that have healthy bodies, like whatever you're into. And write down all the things that they do and then start to incorporate those things into your everyday life. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. But as you do this, remember, you are not them. Don't try to be someone that's already here. Be yourself, right? Be yourself. Number 4 is do everything with purpose and make the purpose more important than the goal. So many people say, okay, let's just use money as an example because it's super easy to talk about. Let's just say someone's like, I'm going to use the W word because this is how people talk, not me. Pretend it's not me talking. Pretend it's like the outside world. I want to make $1 million this year. Okay. And I say, great. What are you going to do? What's the purpose? What's the mission? How do you desire to feel while you're attaining this goal? Because to create and draw into you $1 million, like there's a way to do it. So $1 million a year divided by 12, you have to make $83,333.33. Now, if you divide that by 4, which is weeks in a month, that means that every week you have to bring in $20,833.33. Now, if you divide that by 7, it comes up to $2,976.19 per day. That's what you have to make. Now, if you take Ambitchious Academy, I charge $189.99, so $189.99 a month per person to do Ambitchious Academy. So that means that to make $1 million on average, and this doesn't happen every day, right? Like sometimes I'll do like a big sales marketing push and I'll get like 30 people in a day. And sometimes I won't have anyone for 3 days. Okay. But I'm saying on average, that means you have to sign up. If you're charging that kind of price point for what you're doing every day, that means you have to sign up 15 people on average a day. There are 9 billion people in the world. If you can't get 15 people to sign up for your shit, then what the actual fuck are you doing? If you're an entrepreneur like me, you can go back and you can do the exact same thing, right? You can go back and you can say, okay, I desire to make this much wealth, and attract this much wealth into my everyday life. This is what I have to do. So purpose over goals. Find out how much money that you desire to create. Let's just say money. On average, say how much money do I have to bring in a day to make this happen? And then start thinking about how you want to fucking feel every day. How do you want to make other people feel every day? What kind of service and what kind of value do you desire to provide every day? Because that's why you're here. You're not here to eat shit, sleep, fuck, piss, and make money. You're here for a much bigger purpose. So number 4 is purpose over your goals. Number 5, don't talk about it. Fucking be about it. I am so fucking sick of coaching people, and I don't honestly coach people like this anymore. And if I do, they're on their last leg with me and they're like shipping out. Okay. I can't tell you how many people say like, oh, I'm going to do this week and I'm going to do this week and I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do this tomorrow. And they do nothing. They do nothing. And then they come to me and they go, Katie, I just want to be like you. What the fuck? What is the secret sauce? Every day I wake up and I have a list of things that I have to accomplish that are going to get me closer to where I desire to be. And that is period. So don't talk about it, be about it. I don't want to hear what you're going to eat to lose weight. I don't want to hear how you're going to work out. I don't want to hear like how you're going to do reels and TikToks and you're going to beef up your email list. And I don't care about any of it. I want to see it. So don't talk about it, be about it. That's number 5. Number 6, go dark. Go dark. What does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? Go dark. Go dark means go within, leave the stage, right? Walk off the stage. Sometimes it means walking off of social media. Sometimes it means like just staying home and not talking to anybody and minding your own fucking business and doing the work and moving in silence. Okay? Stop telling everybody your big, audacious goals and dreams because most people don't think as big as you. They don't think as big as me. So they're going to be like, this bitch is crazy. She wants to create, $1 million of wealth in a year and she was only making $30,000 in a year. Well, they're going to laugh at you. So you can't tell people that are small-minded your big goals and dreams because they're going to just chip away at it and they're going to call you crazy. And guess what? The craziest people do the biggest shit. The craziest people do the biggest shit. Okay? Number 7, don't go it alone. So many people, they come to me for help when they're like on their last leg and they're like done it all and they've just like been navigating these waters by themselves. Get a coach. Find an academy or a university or some kind of an online program that's going to help you get to point A from point A to point Z quicker. Everybody's like, well, I'll just figure it out. I'll Google it. Well, why wouldn't you just pay someone that's already done what you want to do to help you do that thing? It just doesn't make sense to me. So don't go it alone. And kind of in the same vein, number 8 is ask for help. Like, don't be afraid to ask your friends. Hey, could you post about this thing that I'm launching? Could you send like a couple texts to your family members? Like, cause I just created this new program or I just made this new thing or I just like, open this new restaurant. Like, why not ask for help? How many fucking people have asked you for help and you've never asked them for help in return? So, cash in your chips. Ask people for help. Don't be ashamed to ask people for help. Number 9 is you got to act as if. What does that mean? I was watching a documentary the other day about Ronald Reagan. I don't even know why I was watching this. I think Matt was watching it and then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool and like mindless and I can just like zone out. But it really was like a great thing because people that knew Ronald Reagan before he was the president was saying like, oh my God, Ronald Reagan, he's fucking amazing. He's fucking amazing. He from the time he was like an actor in California, he acted as if he was already the president of the United States. So if you want to be the CEO of a corporation, act as if you're already that person. If you desire to release 100 pounds and look like a fitness pro, act as if you're already that person, right? Talk as if you are already that person. Eat as if you are that person. Work out as if you are that person. That is what I'm talking about. Act as if you already are. Don't wait for it to happen because guess what? It won't happen if you don't already act as if it's already happened. Number 10, use your power posse. I talk about that so much in the book Ambitchious. You don't understand that we are multidimensional beings. And just because people that you idolize or look up to or revere are dead doesn't mean you can't tap into their energy, right? Like I call on my power posse's energy all of the time and they don't have to be dead, right? You can access people's energy who is alive. So if you're like, oh my God, my house is such a fucking mess all the time. It's so cluttered. It's so unorganized. I'm so stressed out. Tap into the energy of those 2 hoes on the home edit. They're fucking amazing. Like they put like, your refrigerator is like red, blue, purple. It's like the colors of the rainbow. Tap into their energy. Like say, God, universe, whatever you believe in, help me tap into the energy of Marie Kondo, who wrote that book about, tidying up. She also has a Netflix show. Tap into the power posse's energy. Don't do things alone. I know the last 3 are kind of similar, but like tap into that power posse energy. Number 11 is kill the motherfucking noise. Don't ask for people how to get to where you desire to go that have never gone there. Get off of asking people on social media what your next move should be. Stop asking your family and people who are drifters and people who are plebes and people who are small-minded to get you to where you're going. Because guess what? They've never gone there. They've never gone through those waters. They've never, chartered that territory. Kill the noise. Drown out the noise. Stop watching the news. Stop being on social media. Stop texting with a bunch of fucking losers. Start surrounding yourself with people who are at your caliber or higher, or be the lone wolf for a little bit. Go within. Get quiet. Get sovereign. Get autonomous. Get singular. And guess what? That's when God and the universe and your spirit guides, that's when they'll talk to you. If something is noisy, like, and your mind is cluttered all the time, how are you supposed to hear the still small voice of spirit inside of you? And how are you supposed to listen to your true self? So kill the noise, number 11. Number 12, know your flaws and your fears and your triggers and your roadblocks before you start, and have a plan for how to deal with them when they pop up. So many people want to change their lives, but they don't know why they are fearful and triggered and flawed before they start. Right? So if you're like, I'm going to release 100 pounds this year. Okay, well, guess what? You binge eat every night. Why do you binge eat? Because your uncle molested you when you were a child and you never healed from that trauma. So if you know better, you can do better. But if you can't face the facts of why you are the way you are and how you're going to change those things when those things come up, how are you going to deal with those things when those horrible fears and triggers come up, that you're never going to change. So know your fears, your flaws, your roadblocks, and your triggers before you even start on your journey, and come up with a good plan of action of how you're going to deal with those things when they pop up. Number 13, you're going to find a way or you're going to make a way. I always think of Hannibal, and Hannibal, not Hannibal from Silence of the Lambs, but he was a war strategist thousands of years ago. And this motherfucker got elephants to climb the Alps so that he could go and fight his opponent using elephants in war. It was like an old tactic that no one used. He figured out how to do it, and he got elephants over the motherfucking Alps. If this motherfucker thousands of years ago can get elephants over the Alps to fight a war, you can do anything. So you have to find a way or you have to make a way, and you have to be fucking dangerous. What do I mean by dangerous? When someone is like, come fucking hell or high water, I'm going to find a way or make a way, you become dangerous. So part about being ambitious in 2022 is being motherfucking dangerous. Because when you have nothing to lose and you have no fucks to give, that is when the shit happens. That is when the magic happens. That's when the doors open up. That's when the up-leveling and ascension happens. Number 14, don't argue for your limitations. Because if you argue for your limitations, they will become yours. I have so many people that are like, oh, I just really want to get healthy and I really want to do Ambitchious Academy, but I have rheumatoid arthritis, or I have this disease, or I have this disorder, or I have this illness or this sickness. All right, then how's that working for you? I had someone the other day that reached out to me about business coaching. And I said, you got to do reels. You got to show up. You got to get an email list. You have to become like this brand, this personality. And she's like, well, that's not really who I am. Okay, then get the fuck out of the way for the people who are just sick fucks enough to show up in that way. So don't argue for your limitations, because if you do, they become your own. And you will never rid yourself of them. Number 15, know if it's been done before, it can be done again. So many people are like, well, I've never experienced it, or like no one that I'm friends with has ever experienced this, or they've never attained this goal, or they've never achieved this dream. Yeah, but has it been done before? Yes. Then it can be done again. But you have to believe. You have to believe that it's true. Number 16, you have to decide. The word decide in Latin means to kill off anything else. Once you decide, side is, Latin for murder or death, right? When you decide, when you cut off anything that could step in your way and you make that decision, you cut away anything else that may hold you back, you become dangerous. So you have to make the decision. You have to decide to be ambitious. You have to decide to, lose that weight, to find that love of your life, to heal that trauma, to create new money mindsets, to evolve spiritually. You have to decide. No one is going to come along and be like, oh, let me help Katie out. She really needs some help. No one gives a fuck about you, and no one gives a fuck about me. Even the people that love you the most, at the end of the day, we came into this earth alone, and we're going to fucking shuffle off this mortal coil alone. So you better decide to step up for yourself, because no one's coming to fucking save you. Number 17, you got to take action. Like the old Britney Spears song, right? You want a hot body, you want a Bugatti, you want a fucking Maserati, you got to work, bitch. Everyone thinks like, oh, I'm just going to meditate about who I want to be and like, what do I want to attain? No. You got to take action. And that's what I tell people. If every day you wake up and you just take a couple of actionable steps to get you to the place that you desire to be, then consistency creates the world and the life of your dreams. Consistency is the key. But you have to take action. So what I do every day is I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee as part of my Ambitchious, and I write my to accomplish list. So like if I accomplish these like 3 to 5 things, I'm going to feel really good about myself, and it's going to get me a couple steps closer to where I desire to be. That's it. And just do those things. It's literally that fucking easy. Number 18 is view your failures and mistakes as lessons. So many people that I coach and I have coached over the years are like, oh God, I fell off the wagon this week. I'm just going to wait till next Monday. No. What did you learn from falling off the wagon? What did you learn from that abusive relationship? What did you learn about when, your mother died? What did you learn about being sick? What did you learn about being 100 pounds overweight? What did you learn? What did you learn? What were the lessons? And then as you use those lessons and you say, okay, I know how this story played out last time this thing happened. I learned my lesson. Now I'm going to come at this thing in a totally different manner, right? So number 18, view your failures and mistakes as lessons and not a fucking excuse to just throw the baby out with the bathwater and just give up, right? Number 20, be like the phoenix. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but I also love Greek mythology. And, I talk about the phoenix in my book a lot. The phoenix, when it would get just old and it would be so sick of its old self, it would just fucking light itself on fire and combust and be reborn. They talk about the phoenix rising from the ashes. Stop holding on to your old self. Let the old you die so that the new you can be reborn. If something's not fucking working for you anymore, stop fucking doing it. If you don't want to work with a client anymore who's annoying the fuck out of you, stop fucking doing it. If you don't want to go to work every day at the same shitty 9-to-5 cubicle job that's killing you, stop fucking doing it. If you don't like the relationship that you're having with your husband anymore, stop fucking doing it. It doesn't mean get divorced. It means like, hey, maybe you need to go get therapy. Maybe you need to go fucking hire a shaman or a healer. Maybe you need to sit down and tell your husband, hey, I'm not happy. How can we fix this? Be like the phoenix. Let the old you die so that the new you can be reborn, because a lot of you are hanging around to old dead corpses of yourself, just dragging those motherfuckers around, and it's actually blocking new, beautiful, ascended energy to come in so that you can live your life ambitiously. Number 21, this is huge. No distractions. If listen, I don't really talk about politics in the open. I have my political views, but I have a lot of friends who are super political, right? Which is fine. Great. I love that they're informed. I'm very informed too, but I just don't choose to use my social media platforms to bash one side or the other, okay? But I have friends that every day will text me, can you believe what Joe Biden did? Can you believe what this person did? Can you believe what's happening over here? And I'm like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? What are you doing in your own fucking life? If these motherfuckers, and I'm just using politics because it's easy to talk about, but if these people used all the time that they were fretting about politics and other people's business and coronavirus and all this shit, they would be multimillionaires with a body like a superhero and a relationship like Pride and fucking Prejudice, and they'd be spiritual like the Dalai Lama, and they would have the home of their dreams, and they would have everything. No fucking distractions. So cut out, again, decide all the things that are distracting you. If social media is distracting you, put limitations on how much you can go on social media. If friendships are distracting you, really limit your time around those people. If your home being a mess is distracting you, clean the fucking thing or get a goddamn cleaning lady or a cleaning person to your house. No fucking distractions, number 21. And last but not least, number 22, the 22nd thing that I want you to really use to make 2022 your bitch is to give your power away to no thing or no one. To give your power away to no thing or no one. A lot of us, the last 2 years especially, we've been blaming our mediocrity on what's going on in the world. Well, if it wasn't for Corona, if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that person, if it wasn't for this person in the White House, if it wasn't for that person doing this over here, take your fucking power back. Give your power away to no thing or no one. Take radical responsibility in 2022 for where you are and who you are and what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. We have obviously learned that from the last 2 motherfucking years of our lives. I hope that this first podcast of 2022 inspires you to become the head bitch in charge of your magical fucking life. And if you are desiring help, like I said earlier, right? Ask for help. Don't go it alone. Head on over to ambitchiousacademy.com and check it out. You have questions? Inbox me on the app, Ambitchious app on Mighty Networks. Email me at hello@kbmfc.com or DM me on Instagram. I don't give a fuck. Throw up your smoke signals. Send a raven with a freaking letter on its hoof or the claw or the little bird leg. I don't know. But stop trying to figure this out on your own. Sometimes all that we really, and I'm going to use the N-word, need is to just have help. To have someone who's already been there, done that, and to have a community of like-minded, supportive women around us cheering us on. Listen, the years are going to keep ticking by. Might as well live life ambitiously when they are ticking. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being part of this ambitious movement. And I really, really, really thank you from the bottom of my little black heart. Let's make 2022 our bitch.